Hello and welcome to Foundation Friday, March 1st, 2019. The first 2 months of 2019 are in the books. 1/6 of the year is gone. 5/6 of the year is left. Hopefully you are at least 1/6 towards your revenue and profit, more importantly, your profit goals for the year. So today's topic is a foundational topic. It has to do with the mindset and not particular strategies or tactics to help you build your business, although I'm going to give you some strategies here how to deal with this mindset issue. But this is a basic foundational issue, and it certainly affects almost all business owners, certainly all successful business owners, because it affects all top performers, all high achievers. So in other words, it affects me. It certainly affects every single one of my clients because I only work with successful people. I'm not way back. I would work with some people that were strugglers and low achievers, and I realized life is way too short, especially at this point in my career. I only take on someone who is already proven to be a superstar. And so what happens is from time to time, my clients will be going through a phase where they're suffering from what's known as imposter syndrome, and it's known as several other names. And all top achievers go through this from time to time. In fact, that's the good news. To even go through imposter syndrome, you have to be a high achiever, because low achievers don't go through it. And I'll explain why, and you'll understand in a second when I give you the definition. Imposter syndrome means someone who is an achiever feels they don't deserve their position in life, or in their career, or in whatever they're doing. They feel somehow they're an imposter, that they're really, all the accolades they're receiving, they can't really, I can't really deserve all these accolades. I'm just me. Because we all know where we came from. We all know what we've been through. And we all grew up studying / idolizing successful people, reading biographies and watching sports stars and entertainers and feeling those are really super high achievers. I hope I could do that someday. And then when we become a high achiever in our chosen field, we have a tendency to feel once in a while like an imposter. Well, I can't, people are paying me this much money. I remember the first time clients started paying me $5,000 a month. And of course I was helping them make many, many times more, but still, I felt like, really, I'm worth $5,000 a month? And that's called imposter syndrome, where you have a hard time dealing with the fact that you're an achiever. So if that's anything you're going through or that you have gone through, congratulations. The good news is that means you're a high achiever. So a low achiever, by definition, can't sit there and go, gee, I don't deserve all the non-accolades I never get because I never do anything. So you have to be a high achiever. So that's the good news. Now, here's some of the forms that this imposter syndrome takes, so maybe you can recognize it other than the one I just said. It can result in perfectionism. You really feel like you've got to do things perfect because anything less than perfect you feel just isn't good at all. Or you become a workaholic. You work way too much. You dream up things to do even after you're done achieving, and you never celebrate your success. And on and on. It can take many forms. Now, here's the thing. Here's the danger. If you don't learn to deal with this, it can become extremely pronounced and be extremely dangerous. And you see this in a lot of people that are in the public eye, because, of course, you don't. That was kind of silly. You don't see it in people that are not in the public eye because you don't see those people. So you'll see it in the entertainment world a lot. Very high achievers doing self-destructive things like crazy. And so, for instance, in the music industry, it's rampant, right? People go from being a high school dropout, never went to class, whatever, and then just a few years later, they're walking into arenas with 20,000 people throwing themselves at them, and backstage, the groupies throwing themselves at them, and then the checks are coming in the mail for ridiculous amounts of money, and they still say, but we're the same group of guys that were playing in a garage and would play at the local whatever for $50 or for free just to let someone, and now we're making how much? And how many millions records sold? And everywhere we go, people are shrieking and wanting our autograph. And and throwing themselves all over us, and so they feel like, gee, the famous line from the Wayne's World, I'm not worthy. Oh, I'm not worthy. This can't be me. And so what happened, the danger is they have a tendency to feel like a fake, like a fraud, like an imposter. So they now have low self-worth, and as a result, they do way too many self-damaging, risky activities. Taking drugs and taking all kinds of risks, and you see some recent movies here that were up for the Best Picture award, like The Star Is Born. The guy's drinking like crazy. In Bohemian Rhapsody, the guy's taking all kinds of sexual risks, and that ended up, killing him early. And Freddie Mercury is known to have said when he was warned about AIDS and his lifestyle of being reckless and sleeping all over the place, unprotected sex and whatever, and he was like, yeah, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. See, that comes from an imposter syndrome, feeling he's not worthy of being one of the greatest entertainers in the world. But that's just me. I was this kid who my dad would say, you're no good and you'll never amount to anything, and so this can't really be me, but it was. And you see the Bohemian Rhapsody movie or the Star Is Born movie, and it portrays these people as superstars, although you don't need much portraying for Freddie Mercury. He was one of the most celebrated rock and roll stars of all time, and yet didn't feel that way himself deep down inside a lot of the time. So a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of promiscuous, unprotected sex, all leading to his way too early downfall. And you see that over and over in the entertainment industry. People just do all kinds of self-damaging things, and it comes from this imposter syndrome. So my foundational Friday tip to you today, Mr. or Ms. High Achiever, is to learn to recognize this in yourself and to take steps to get through it, get over it. So another symptom of imposter syndrome is you never ask for help. You don't ask mentors, you don't reach out because you feel that makes you appear weak. I have one of my clients that puts it, she feels she'll appear whiny if she, I'm always talking about the life of an entrepreneur's ups and downs. And yet she was like, yeah, but I still feel whiny if I talk about my downs. Everyone's going through it. So no one wants to listen to me talk, blah, blah, blah. So she'll have a tendency, like we do, all imposter syndrome, all high achievers will have a tendency to want to hunker down and go into our bunker and our shell in our corner and say, I'll just get through this because I'm a high achiever. I'm going to get through this. And we don't share it with people. We don't let people know. Well, a lot of times imposter syndrome sufferers do not even have a mentor or a coach. They don't reach out to someone like me. They can help them through these things. And so it's a big danger. I had it with my first multi-million-dollar business that I started while I was in law school. That became a multi-million-dollar business, and I recognized later that I was suffering a lot from imposter syndrome, feeling like, wow, how can this be me? I'm just me, but now here I am running a multi-million-dollar company. I have all these employees that depend on me. I have all these customers that are loving my service. I'm making all this money. I have all these systems in place, so I don't even have to, work anywhere near as hard as I did when I started. So now I'm like, well, gee, I'm not working as hard as I did, but I'm making so much more money, and the value of the company keeps going up, and I'm getting all these accolades and all these, people calling me for interviews and for advice and for this and that. And I'm like, really? Is that, me? Do I deserve all this? And so what did I do? I was drinking too much, I was partying too much, I was not working nearly enough on improving and maintaining the direction of the company and coming up with new things. I was resting on my laurels and not, going after and attacking it. And I ended up, I didn't technically declare bankruptcy, but ended up, destroying the company down to nothing. And so that's the danger of the imposter syndrome. So if you're feeling that way, again, good news, you got to be a high achiever to feel that you don't deserve the accolades of being a high achiever. Number two, you got to reach out, get some help. You don't have to, but that's the best way to do it. You fight through it yourself, longer and tougher, and since you are a high achiever, does it make any sense to make the tough times longer and tougher? Of course not. Reach out for help. You'll be amazed, especially if you heed Jim Rohn's saying that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. So if you hang around other superstars, I think you'll be pleasantly amazed that they all can relate and say, yep, been there, done that. Every single high achiever, bar none, will at one time or more in their lifetime, in their career, suffer from imposter syndrome. Learn to recognize what's going on, learn to reach out to the right people at the right time for the right help to make it through it and get back on track to the high achiever, getting the high results that you deserve. And that's it for Foundation Friday. Thanks everybody here live and watching on the replay. I'll be back tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. I'm going to give you a tip specifically how to do what you're seeing here. Record a Facebook Live video on your phone and have anything that needs to be read coming out actually in a forwards direction as I I'll pull any book off the shelf here randomly. Oh, look, it's a book by me called Ultimate Entrepreneur Success Secrets. But you can see how you can read that forwards. I'm going to give you the tip tomorrow on Social Media Saturday, exactly the 3 steps it takes to make that happen. And so hopefully you will join me then. And that'll do it for Foundation Friday, March 1st. Over and out. Bye-bye.